Okay, so we are continuing in our journey to simcha, journey to happiness. Part of this class is going to be to try to understand what exactly is simcha, what exactly is it that we are striving for. And today I want to speak about two sides of the same coin of achieving simcha, and they seem to be coming from opposite perspectives, but the truth is that obviously they complement each other. The first point of Rebbe Nachman is that simcha is something that simcha is something that we need to work on. Simcha is something that we need to force. We need to put effort to make sure that we are going to be b'simcha, as opposed to waiting for simcha to fall upon us, as opposed to waiting that I'm going to wait for that good day, that everything's going to go my way, and then I'll be happy. And the Rebbe Nachman tells us that absolutely not. You need to be proactive, that you need to take that first step. You have to make sure that you're going to run after the simcha and not let it run away, not let it escape. Okay. The other contrast to this is that simcha is actually something which is very natural, and that connecting to simcha and bringing yourself to simcha is actually all about being ourselves and returning to our natural state. Because the truth is that if a person is going to be the way they were created, that just to be the truest them, then they are actually going to be happy. And everything that takes us away from happiness, it's all that we drink poison, and the poison takes us away from our natural state. But the truth is that the natural state of a human being, and certainly a Jew, is to be happy, is to be b'simcha. Okay, so now. A little bit of a I would say, I want to take back something I said last week, that it seems that it's, like I was saying last week, that it's a Hasidic idea and it doesn't exist in previous sources to that, and that even though in later years, even the non-Hasidic world has agreed that we need simcha, and I attributed that to the fact that the mental health of the globe has just gone so bad that we just need that even against their will, they've accepted that simcha must be a necessary part of Judaism. We talked about the fact that in our Chasadikim this doesn't appear as a midah. We talked about that in the Maharami Prague this does not appear as a positive midah that we're striving for. And it seems like it's like an innovation of the Baal Shem Tov, that Judaism, the part of being a Jew, is being happy. Once a girl told me that until she came to Neve, she never thought that there's any connection between Torah and laughter. Wow. And now in every class she's just like laughing the whole day. So is this, and Neve is the opposite of Chassidus, right? So I mentioned this to one of my Rebbeim. I have a very special Rebbe. I would say that he's the only person that's alive today that I consider him my Rebbe. I have many Rebbeim that are no longer alive, but his name is Nachman, and he's an extremely special person. He grew up like modern Orthodox. His brother is a Chaver Knesset, Simcha Rothman. So his brother is much greater than him, and so he's just an amazing person. He grew up like modern Orthodox, and then he became Zilberman. Zilberman is this interesting community in the old city, like the people that they wear tefillin the whole day, and their rabbi was a very revolutionary man, and he showed how you could be Haredi but still be very open-minded and be very Zionist and be very just like everything. He had his own take on everything, which is a kind of mentality that I very much connect with, and so Rebbe Nachman is a student of his, and he right now he's a Maggid Shir. He became mainstream. He became infiltrated into the mainstream Haredi world to teach the mainstream, to try to convert them to, there's a legend that Paul was actually a messenger from the Sanhedrin, that the religious Jews sent Paul into the Christian church to make it, because there was a big dispute between Paul and Peter as to whether Christianity would accept the Torah remain doing the mitzvot or not. So the legend is that Paul infiltrated into the Christian church to cause Christianity to not perform the mitzvot, in order that nobody should look at it like it's a brand of Judaism, and it should be more like less seductive to the Jewish people. Anyway, so maybe Reb Nachman is a spy into the mainstream Haredi world to make the Haredi world more open-minded and more open to Zionism, etc. Anyway, so he's an amazing person, and just like he's like, I ask myself sometimes like, maybe I just love him so much because he loves me, but but that's also something, you know. Like the fact that he loves us Talmidim is. I remember like it really like one day I came to him to ask, like I hadn't seen him in like 6 months, and I came to him to ask his advice on something, and he was so excited to see me that he made a bracha, Shechianu. He said that. And like that's a bracha that it says if you don't see your friends for more than 30 days, then you say a bracha. And now, so most people don't say that, but in Zilberman they do say it. And like the fact that he felt so special, so excited to see me that like, oh my, like, so that didn't make my day, that made my life, you know. So anyway, so I go to a shir of his every Friday where we learn the commentary of the Gra on Mishlei, and so in the context of the class, I asked him that, by the way, I started a series on Simcha. And I found it interesting that I didn't find in older sources that it's like that simcha just as a mentality, just as a way of life, just as a way of life, being happy as a way of life, that's necessarily a Jewish value, and I only found it as a absolute value in Hasidic sources, and like in mainstream sources, I only found that like when you're doing a mitzvah, that then you should be happy, right? So by the way, one of the things that I'm amazed about Reb Nachman, why like I'm so in awe of him, is that he knows everything. Like there's not like he knows Tanakh by heart. He's always like he'll quote like 20 or 30 verses just by heart, just in the middle of class, and he knows the entire Gemara and the entire Yerushalmi, all the Midrashim, and the Kabbalah, and it doesn't stop there. He also knows world history. He knows science. He'll sometimes like just quote from like the diary of somebody in the French Revolution, and he'll just there's nothing he doesn't know. So like, and he's just very, very humble and just very simple and very like approachable, and so that's why he's my Rebbe, and so I asked him like, is this really true? And he thought for a moment, and he said that without thinking too much, I could quote you 100 psukim that show that simcha is a necessary mentality, not just when you're doing a mitzvah, just as a way of life, that simcha is a necessary component of serving Hashem. And so it's don't you dare say, like he's like, don't you dare say that it's a Hasidic idea, that is absolutely a Jewish idea. It's an absolutely Jewish value that you cannot claim to be a Jew and claim to be to not believe in simcha as just a way of life, not just when you're doing a mitzvah, just as a general mentality. Okay, so this is as opposed to the joke that it's almost Purim. So there's a joke that goes that in Megillas Esther, so there's 4 psukim that we read to the tune of Megillas Eicha. Okay, Megillas Eicha is the Megillah that we read on Tisha B'Av, which is like the saddest day of the year. So like the Megillas Eicha it's a very like sad, it's like a dirgy kind of melody. And so there's 4 psukim in Megillas Esther that we read to the tune of Megillas Eicha. So the question is, why on the happiest day of the year, on Purim, do we read something to the tune of Megillas Eicha? So the answer is because the briskers, they also deserve to be happy. And so the only thing that makes them happy is when we're really, really sad. So in order to give a little bit of celebration to the briskers, so the briskers, there's like it's yeshiva in Israel where like they're very, very strict and they're very like anxious about everything and like nothing is ever good enough. I think I spoke about this last week. Did I speak about this? About like the guy that was in the Seder by the I think so. I think I spoke about this. The guy that was that he was in the Volozhin Yeshiva, and the first night of Seder he went to the Beis Levi, and the second night of Seder he went to the Netziv, and the first night everything was just anxious and crazy and sad, and he was depressed that he didn't do anything right, and the next day everything was happy, and he was just excited about that he fulfilled so many mitzvahs. So that the Beis Levi, he was like the father of brisk. So the joke goes that like in order to make these people they make a religion out of like being sad and being serious, and like if you laugh, then like whoa, like are you like a guy, like how dare you, like you must not be taking life seriously if you dare laugh. And so to make these briskers happy, so because they also deserve to celebrate on Purim, so that's why we read these 4 psukim to on Megillas Esther. So the question is that like, but like if we care about the briskers so much, then why only 4 psukim? We should do more psukim with a sad tune. So he said, no, that would be frivolity. That would be that would be like too happy. Like you need to have limits of how happy you're going to be. Like to do 10 psukim with a sad tune, that would just make them just like wasted. So I'm sorry.
Who started that movement? The Brisker Rebbe?
It's whatever. It's a long history, whatever. But so the point is that is not an appropriate, that is not a legit way in Judaism. Okay, that Rav Nachman was saying that there is at least 100 psukim that he can think of without researching, without going looking too hard, that show that just as a general way of life that simcha is the only way to go. And if you're sad, that means that there's something off. That means you're not fulfilling your duties as a Jew. If you're not in a good mood, if you're not happy. Okay, so let's get back to the. So we're talking about 2 ways to come to joy, 2 ways to come to happiness. One is by force, and one is by nature. Okay, so nature and nurture. These are the 2 ways they're going to come to happiness. So we started speaking last week about. The Rebbe Nachman says that a person has to be proactive in his simcha, not wait for the simcha to come to him, not wait for that happy day, not wait for that everything's going to go right, and this is very interestingly noted in the fact that bisimcha is the same letters as machshava. Machshava is thought. Machshava means thought. So being bisimcha is dependent on your machshava. Okay, that is, it's in your ability, it's in your power to bring yourself to a state of mind of happiness. So it's up to you. It's up to you, as opposed to they're just like letting it being passive, letting it just like waiting for this happy day. So we spoke last time about the idea of jokes, about how humor is a very important part of Judaism. We said that there's Jewish jokes and non-Jewish jokes. Now I want to show you another thing that Rebbe Nachman says. He says this is a book called Sichos Haran, and yeah, you can see it too. I just started teaching this in yeah, you were there. I just started teaching this in MRC. This book.
I have a question, but I can read
yeah,
it again.
yeah, go.
In the Torah, does Hashem show his sense of humor?
Does Hashem show his sense of humor?
I was just thinking about that last week.
It says about Hashem that like Oz v'chad b'mkama, Hashem is very happy. Like when you say like sense of humor, you mean
Does he say anything
like
in the Torah? It's like, oh, like funny you said that way, or you know what I mean?
I think there was a point when God took a not joke. I think it was.
I don't think in the sense that you're saying. When we talk about God's sense of humor,
because Jews in general are very funny.
Yeah, when I talk about God's sense of humor, I think of this particular student of mine that her husband was brought up ultra Orthodox, and then he stopped being religious, and he met a non-Jewish girl, and he fell in love, and it got serious, and then his parents told their son's boyfriend, "No, we would really appreciate if you could convert to Judaism, because we're Jewish and we don't like our son to marry out of the faith." So she said, "Okay, I'll look into it." And she looked into it, and she decided to convert, and she like fell in love with Judaism, and she became super religious, and so and so she became religious again through his girlfriend. So like it's like he was like going off the derech, and Hashem has a good sense of humor. Like I'll show you, I'll meet you. I'll help you. I'll help you meet a goyish girl, and she'll help you do tshuva. I think that's a good sense of humor, right? But in just having a oh, that was a good one, God. I don't know if you I don't know if he does that, and that truth is that's on Sunday we were talking about how the introduction to Torah is Yirat Hashem, is being in awe of God, and really you're here, right? And the idea of Yira is that to understand that that life is serious, that life matters, that the basic mindset that we need as we're coming to learn Torah is that it matters, and it's not just life is not a free for all. And so I think if God would tell too many jokes, then we might make the mistake that he's just our buddy and nothing really matters, right? So there is it is necessary to have this understanding that God is actually the boss, and as much as he loves us, but he's never going to be really our friend. He's always going to be the whoa. So Rebbe Nachman writes, and this is a book called Sichos Haran, which is Rebbe Nachman's discourses. And I explained to in MRC that what's special about this book Sichos Haran is Sichos Haran is a book that everybody can really learn themselves. It doesn't really need you don't need a teacher to learn it. The difference between Sichos Haran and Likutei Moharan, which is his Torahs, is that Likutei Moharan is really just intellectual ideas, and you won't necessarily understand how this is going to change your life. Whereas Sichos Haran, every teaching in Sichos Haran is meant to actually be an instruction of how you can change your life, how to improve yourself to be closer to Hashem. Okay, so he writes over here, "V'chein be'inyan simcha," that when it comes to simcha, and especially he says when it comes to tefillah, the davening, if you're down, if you're depressed, when you come to daven, so then you won't be able to daven properly. So that you need to force yourself to be b'simcha. You need to force yourself to be happy. That when it comes to davening, so, and what do you do if you just can't be happy? Rebbe Nachman writes about himself that sometimes he would wake up in the morning, and he just wasn't there. He just wasn't in the mood to daven. He just was really detached. And so he writes that what he would do is he would sing himself a song. He would sing a happy melody, and that would just get him into the mood. My what I do, what I do if I don't sometimes singing is good, but what I do for myself is to play fast music, to play some some Mordechai Shapiro songs, whatever it is, some really really trancy kind of just something, anything that's going to get you a quick beat that's gonna what? Listen Black, if that's your style. Okay, I'm not such a rap guy, but
Clean rap, I love it.
Even Ben Shapiro has started becoming a rapper. So so I don't know, whatever. But I mean, I like Eminem, but so he's the only rapper I like. But it's just fast music will just it affects you. It affects you. Rebbe Nachman has a whole Torah that how the effect of music, but Rebbe Nachman writes how it's important to not listen to evil musicians. Okay, any musician that you think is just a bad person, so do not listen to the music. But right. So when it comes, so he would force himself. He would just try to get himself into the mood. trying to get himself into the place that I can speak to God, because I'm just feeling just dead, just feeling detached. I'm not in the mood for God right now. So he would sometimes, but what if even that doesn't work? So he says an amazing thing. So he says, so pretend that you're happy. Pretend that you're happy. That act as if you're happy. Okay? Now this is an amazing thing that I didn't look this up, but a student of mine once told me that in science it says that when a person smiles, it actually releases hormones in their body that causes them to become happy. Yeah, that's true?
I heard that.
Okay? So, just the fact that you, when you're not happy, but you go, so the mere fact that you put your mouth in that shape, so that actually is going to affect your demeanor. It's actually going to affect your psyche, and you're going to become a happy person just because you acted this. Okay, there's a thing that Sfaradim have a custom that by Havdalah. So after Bar Priya Gafen, so they laugh. Okay, so how did Sfaradim? Sfaradim by Havdalah. So after they say Bar Priya Gafen, so they laugh. Okay, so how do you just laugh? So it's actually very simple. You just do it. And you see, it worked. and so there's this thing that you want to start the day with simcha. You want to start your week with happiness. So just do it. Okay, if you just take that effort, you take that step to force yourself to laugh, then you're gonna so this is so and he writes that if you do this, it'll bring you to true happiness. Okay. That this advice is very important for many things in Judaism. That the first you fake it, and then you make it. Okay? So Rebbe Nachman, this is Rebbe Nachman, this is 250 years ago. Rebbe Nachman is telling us that fake it till you make it. Now, I want to tell you something. When we say fake it till you make it, usually we mean something else. Okay? Usually we mean that you think you can be a teacher, I've probably told you that I come to class sometimes and I say, okay, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about today. And any ideas? I sometimes I honestly feel a lot of times like this is so ridiculous. I'm faking them all. I'm fooling them all. That I wish as if I have something to teach them, and it's really fake it till you make it. Just pretend that you just self-confidence. Just pretend just trust Hashem is going to send you something, and it's gonna work out. Okay, you think that you can be a nurse. You can think you can be a mechanic. You think you can be whatever it is. Everybody else has been doing this for 10 years, and you're coming to take blood from a person without telling them that you're actually the first person in my life I'm actually taking blood. I had this. I was in Muchedet. He was nice enough to ask me my permission, so I declined. But he says, I was in Muchedet. I said, I'm practicing to be a nurse. Would you mind if I took your blood instead of the official nurse? And I said, I'd rather not. I don't know if that was mean, but yeah, I don't know. in case anybody is judging me right now, so it happens to be that I sometimes I sometimes faint when they take blood from me. So so it's a sensitive thing. So anyway, so fake it till you make it means that. Fake it till you make it means that, and this is totally true when it comes to Judaism. Fake it till, when any Baal Tshuva, so they're new to Judaism, and then suddenly they show up in the religious world, and they're faking it, and they're pretending that they know what they're doing, and they're like for the first weeks, like they're willing to to ask somebody, like, where's the place? Like at some point they decide, like, that's it, I'm going to just pretend I know what I'm doing. And they feel like one day they're going to like say something so stupid that everyone's going to realize that they're just faking, And so this is a fear. This is a fear that Bali Tshuva have. And so I once heard this amazing Torah. I think somebody said it in the name of Joy Rosenfeld, that the secret of fake it till you make it. The secret of fake it till you make it is that there's actually no difference between making it and faking it. Meaning, this is such a beautiful thing that like it's that you think that, oh, I'm not like them. They made it. They're the real nurse. That no, they're not the real nurse. They're not the real religious Jew. That they just faked it really well. And so you're gonna be exactly like that. You're just fake it long enough until that you can do it with enough savviness, enough confidence that everyone's going to look, whoa, like she knows what she's doing. She knows, like that guy knows how to take blood. That guy is so that's one idea of fake it till you make it. But Rebbe Nachman is saying something. Rebbe Nachman is saying something that about not about like status, not about like, are you actually a doctor? Are you actually a religious Jew? He's talking about emotions. He's talking about our state of mind. He's talking about mentality. And he's saying that fake it till you make it means that if you fake it, you will actually make it. You actually come to this emotion. You actually come to this state of mind. Okay? And this is something that we have in our tradition from 1,000 years ago, that the Sefer Chinuch writes that achar ha'peulot nimshachim halevavot, that after the actions follows the heart. Okay, meaning that if you want to change your heart, so do something about it. Okay, you've heard the expression that love is a verb. Like that if you love somebody, then do something about it. Okay, and this is something we're talking about Purim coming up. So on Purim there's a mitzvah called Mishloach Manat. Mishloach Manat means that there's a mitzvah to give. Is Danny coming? Is Danny coming? No? Okay. I told him if he doesn't come, he's fried. So Mishloach Manat is that there's a mitzvah to give presents to your friends. The mitzvah to give fruits, to give chocolates, to give okay. So I found this amazing thing, that Mishloach Manot is an amazing opportunity to make up with the people that hate you. Okay, if somebody hates you, obviously it's not going to work if you hate them as well. But if you asking for a friend, so. Right. So, but if I remember years ago that there was this guy that I said something that I don't remember. I remember why. He took offense for it, and he was really he thought that I was putting him down. I don't know, and I kept on trying to make up with him. Oh, I remember now. It was that I didn't want to learn with him chavrusa. I didn't want to be a chavrusa with him. I wanted to learn with somebody else. And he took it really personally, and he was just being hostile to me, and I really I apologized, and I didn't mean it, and whatever, and it wasn't working. And then Purim, so I showed up for Shachmanis. I gave him a bottle of wine, I gave him a chocolate, and that's it. And then he loves me again. And it's a great opportunity. Usually if somebody hates you and you show them with a present, so it's weird. But Purim, there's no rules. So Purim is a great opportunity. It's mamish, tried and true. Okay, so that actions. That doesn't mean actions. When I said love is a verb, I mean if you love somebody, do something. If you love somebody, do something about it. Okay, and this is something that to always that to show, if you want to when it comes to relationships. Somebody once said that if you don't love your wife, so the one way to think about it is one way to deal with it is to to start thinking about it, to start philosophizing, and saying like what should I love her? Does it make sense I should love her? Like, does she deserve? Does she? Is this working?
No, her hands are really cold.
It's
No
not working.
circulation in my hands.
So first of all, close the door. And I don't know why somebody, like the remote is there. Somebody should play with it. Maybe it's accidentally on cold. I don't know. So it's on cold.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's wrong. Okay, I apologize.
Sorry.
So
we need to distract.
okay,
Sorry,
so yeah. So first of all, the hey. So shalom.
I'm not going to act like I know how to
Okay, so fake it till you make it.
I will.
Okay.
Someone else makes
Okay, so first of all, you need distance. Okay, that if you hug a person from too close, then no. Okay, so we're talking about that achar pulot nimshachim alavavot, that your actions affect your emotions. Okay, so that means that if you treat something with respect, then you're going to eventually respect it. Okay, if you treat something with love, you're eventually going to love. I was talking about right. If you don't love your wife, and you start thinking about it, like, should I love her? Should I love her? Does it make sense that I love her? Does it make sense? Maybe I shouldn't have married her. And like that's actually going to bring you further apart. Okay, if you want to improve your marriage, so what should you do? You should buy her a present. Okay, to do something that's going to bring you together. To think about it, that's going to bring you apart. Okay, so this is an idea that if you find yourself to be a stingy person, if you find yourself to be a miserly person, it's hard for you to share your sour sticks with other people. Okay, so there's two ways to deal with it. The person could say, I have to meditate. Okay, I have to meditate, and I want to become a more sharing person. I want to change myself on the inside. I want to do it fake. So the Torah says, no, do it fake. Do it fake. Just go around and force yourself to always be giving. And even though you're faking the smile and you're saying, here, I hate you, and to just force yourself to be a giving person, and after a week, you'll notice that you actually become more of a giving person. Okay, so this is acharei pulot nimshachim alavavot, that the heart changes based on your actions. Okay, so Rebbe Nachman says that fake it till you make it applies to simcha. That if you're going to force yourself. This is the amazing thing. I'm thinking about this just now. That like being a teacher, being a rabbi. So, I'm constantly in a place of trying to inspire people, right? So if you're trying to inspire people, so you have to pretend you're inspired, right? If you're not going to,
you're doing a great job.
And if the more that I'm inspired, the more that I act inspired, the more inspired I get. You know, it's really I'm so privileged that I'm forced to constantly be inspiring myself because I'm forcing myself to be inspired. You know, so fake it till you make it is a reality of life. Okay, that when it comes to emotions, that you actually affect yourself on the inside. Okay, so a person should never say I don't want to go to that party because it's a party. You don't have to go to a party, but a person should never say it's fake. A person should never say that I don't want to give them a hug. They deserve a hug. They just got engaged, and so I'm just going to avoid them because I'm not really happy, because I'm really upset because I just got dumped by my boyfriend, girlfriend, and so I'm not in the mood. So I don't want to pretend I'm happy because I'm really not happy. That no, pretend you're happy, and you'll become it. You'll become this happiness, and it'll actually once. So a little bit of a different idea, but I think it's very similar. That once a person came to me that they were in a place of inspiring people. They were in a place of I don't remember what it was. like they were giving like these like seminars of mindfulness, of healing kinds of things, and so this girl was telling me that she was like that she feels like she doesn't feel right advising other people because like she has to get her own act together, and so she's taking a break from doing her healing seminars until she's able to heal herself. And I told her that no, don't wait. This is what's going to heal you. That the fact that you're like, stop thinking about yourself. Stop. You're stuck in your own world, and you're stuck in your depression. And what's going to get you out of depression is to become this healer, and it's going to enable you to heal yourself. Okay, so. This doesn't mean that you should go to a marriage counselor who's been divorced 5 times. You know, it doesn't. That's something else. That's actually a problem. But a person who knows about healing, and they find themselves in a rut. So the fact that they're able to help other people, that can actually help themselves. Okay, so yeah. Mm-hmm.
The emotions come by themselves. But what about honesty? What about hypocrisy? What about these points, which are also very close to fake? Where what's
honesty and hypocrisy. I don't think that it's. I don't think it's a problem of honesty. Because this is actually the real you, and like that's really our next point that we're going to get to soon is that my true self is actually a self of happiness. Meaning that I once heard a very very deep quote that don't judge a person based on if they are good or if they are bad, but judge them based on what they consider good and what they consider bad. What they consider, yeah. Meaning, ask a person like, what do you look up to? What do you admire? And you have a person that actually does everything good, but they hate it, and they would rather actually look up to the guys that were able to get rid of all this goody two shoes kind of lifestyle. And they're like they look up to those rebels that are on drugs and like full of tattoos and whatever, and that's what they consider good. But they're doing everything good. But they look up what they consider good is being a drug addict. Okay, and you can have another person who's a drug addict, but what they consider good, like they hate being where they are. And they admire, they're in love with a person who's a tzaddik, and they wish they could be there, and so that's actually a good person. Okay, so a person is actually more defined based on what they value, more than what they are. So, that being said, so if I'm giving a healing seminar, so chances are I actually believe in it, and chances are that I actually feel horrible that I'm so messed up on the inside. So when I am expressing ideas of healing, so that's actually the real me. And the fact that right now I'm in a bad state, that's actually just like the dust that's covering me up. But that's not the true me. So I don't see any hypocrisy or dishonesty in forcing myself to become what I truly stand for. Okay? Yeah.
How can a person look up to someone who, like, quote unquote, is bad but do good? Like, over time, won't they do bad? Kind of what you said earlier.
Because they don't have the guts. Because they don't have the guts. Because society is forcing them to stand up to a certain standard,
really
and their parents are telling them that if you don't follow the rules, then you're a failure, and their school is telling them that if you don't follow the rules, that you're a failure, and really on the inside they hate it, and they wish that they could have the guts.
But if they're faking it on the outside, therefore won't they feel different?
They have horrible resentment. They have horrible resentment to all the good things that they're doing, but it's all fake. It's all fake. It happens. There's thousands of people, unfortunately, that they're doing all the right things, but they hate it. they just don't have the guts
So
to.
fake it till you make it, as long as you have a good mindset about it. Because if they're giving charity and they're like davening and everything, like it will come easier to them.
I'm talking about the person who's the opposite. I'm talking about the person that it's hard for them to give charity, and it's hard for them to be b'simcha, and it's hard for them to enjoy Judaism, and they're pretending that they're enjoying it because they want to be a person that enjoys it. They want to be a person that gives charity. They want to be a person that davens. They want to be a person that cares about it, right? So they're.
Yeah, sorry, I'm confused then because I thought earlier you're saying fake it till you make it. So if you give charity, even though it's hard for you,
It'll
it'll
eventually change you on the inside, right?
So it's not the case for everyone.
Oh, that's what you mean. No, I was talking about. No, this is talking about the person who was brought up religious, but never really cared about it. Never really was taught why they should be religious, and they always wished that they could just drop everything.
Okay.
And they're doing something good even though they hate it.
So fake it till you make it only works for like Baltic Shiva?
It only works when you want to be there. It only works when you want to be there. If you really want to be somewhere else, then it's never going to get you anywhere. Then it's just going to build resentment.
Okay.
If I want to be happy and I pretend I'm happy, it'll make me happy. If I want to care about my davening and I pretend I'm caring about my davening, then I will eventually care about my davening. Okay? If I want to not care about my davening, but I'm pretending to care about my davening because that's what my teachers want me to do, then it won't get me anywhere.
How can you pretend?
People are very talented.
Davening, I understand, but like giving tzedakah,
Yeah, you
can't pretend that you're doing it.
You're doing it, but you can do it with resentment. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Okay, so this is the first area of simcha growth that Rebbe Nachman calls forcing yourself to be b'simcha, that doing acts, doing physical actions, that like doing something, changing my environment, playing loud music, playing fast music, and just dancing and bringing myself actively into the state of mind that I would like to be. Okay. So now I want to turn to the next point, which is really the flip side of this, but it really complements it, and that is that the truth is that simcha, happiness, is something which is actually the natural state. Okay, when we're being happy, we're actually being normal. Okay, so first of all, I want to start with the pasuk that it says in the pasuk in Tehillim that or zaru lo tzaddik u'lo yishra lev simcha, that there is a light. There's a light which is planted for the tzaddik, and for the person who has a straight heart, he will have simcha. He will have happiness. Okay, so
What's a straight heart?
a straight. What's it mean? What's it mean to have a straight heart? Okay, obviously it means the opposite of a crooked heart,
A bent heart.
right? A bent heart. So there's another pasuk that says as follows: that Elokim asad hadam yashar, God created man straight, and they just started overthinking things. Okay, so to be straight, to have a straight heart means that I didn't mess myself up by overthinking everything. Okay, meaning that if I'm going to be with the mentality that God created me with, if I'm going to be with the mentality, with the psyche of the way I was just born, so then I'm going to be happy. Okay, and that's why kids are so happy. Okay, that's why kids are happy. Kids are just always laughing, because unless they're crying, but when they're when nobody pulls their hair, or nobody goes ahead of them in line, or nobody. True story. That once my son was crying for 30 minutes straight because when I was making his bottle, I put the water before the cola instead of putting the cola before the water. Okay, I deserved it, and I'm sorry. So unless anybody's doing that, they're going to be happy. They're going to be full of laughter. Okay, they're actually like it's natural for kids to be happy. Okay, so why is that? The reason why kids are so happy is because God created us to be happy. Okay, it's a natural state of life that if a person is just going to be themselves, they're going to be happy. Okay, meaning that we mess with ourselves, we mess with our brains by telling ourselves like these unnatural thoughts, whether it comes from ourselves, whether it comes from social media, whether it comes from society, whoever it's coming from. But these outside voices are messing with our brains to make us unhappy. Okay, if we're just going to be ourselves, we're going to be happy. Okay, this is also a very basic premise in psychology. Okay, that when a person is happy, he's called healthy. Okay, if he's unhappy, that's unhealthy. Okay, if a person is very depressed, so we say there's something wrong with you. Okay, that's not the way you're supposed to be. Okay, and they look at us happy people and say, what are they smoking? Like what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? How can you be happy? But psychology has defined depression as a mental illness. That means that there's something like sometimes it's simply that they're missing a chemical. Sometimes they just need meds. Like it's a real thing. It's a real thing that it can sometimes be a chemical imbalance, and these depressed people they look at us happy people, and say that like you guys are cuckoo, and like this is really a question like who's right? Like maybe like maybe we're all crazy. Maybe all us happy people. And so the world of psychology has decided that that to be happy is healthy, and to be depressed is unhealthy. Okay, and we're talking about it as a state of mind. Not that like obviously there's time to be sad, but as a state of mind, to be depressed is actually unhealthy. Okay, so the truth is that psychology has its sources in, at least for this, has its sources in the Torah. The Torah says that the way Hashem creates a person is to be happy. So now the question is that but like person's going to tell me, but like okay, fine, but why should I be happy?
Why did you create someone with chemicals that don't allow them to be happy if they're supposed to be happy?
Okay, why should Hashem create a person without these chemicals? That's a general question, because there's lots of things that Hashem creates which shouldn't be, right? Some people are born without an arm. Okay, some people are born with different mental disorders, with Down syndrome. They're born with any kind of psychosis. With diabetes. Why would Hashem make anybody into a situation that they're suffering? Okay, that's a good question, but it certainly has a reason, right? So I would put that into the general question of why did God create suffering? Okay, and not prove from the fact that there's suffering in the world that suffering is actually ideal. Yeah? Fair? Okay, so now the question is going to be, but why should I be happy? Why should I be happy? I remember I was once one of my sons. I was going to PTA, and I was so embarrassed because like we're supposed to have 5 minutes, and I ended up staying for 20 minutes. But like there's this teacher that my son had that I don't know why he's teaching in the school, but he was just always like critical of my son. My son's a great kid, and my son like hated going to school because with this one particular teacher, every other teacher in the school is amazing, but like he was just always criticizing him. And so I told him, I want you to know you're the first teacher he ever had that didn't think he was the amazing student. Okay, and he's like, and you bring him down. You're crushing him. You're doing damage to his life. And I told him, it says in books that for every criticism you have to give 4 compliments. Okay, there should be a 4-to-1 ratio of compliments to the criticisms. So, and I remember, like, I'll never forgive him. He says, okay, but there's nothing to compliment.
It's like, guy, and you missed the boat completely.
Yeah, so like you should not be a teacher. So,
It's good preparation for the army.
what?
What'd you say back?
I'm scared he would hit me back. So a person comes to Rebbe Nachman and says, okay, Rebbe, so you taught me that I'm supposed to be, you taught me I'm supposed to be happy, but what am I supposed to be happy about? What am I supposed to be happy about? So the truth is that we're going to have a separate class. We're going to have a separate class about how a person should always focus on the good. But what if you're so messed up? You're so messed up that you can't find anything good. You can't find anything to be happy about. Okay? So Rebbe Nachman says, and this is something that I think is even more meaningful than anything, more basic, more fundamental than anything that we're going to talk about when we talk about positivity, which is crazy. And like Rebbe Nachman said, that positivity is the most important thing that he ever taught. But even before positivity, when a person says, okay, positivity, but like what's there to be happy about? So Rebbe Nachman said that you really think there's nothing to be happy about. You really think that you have nothing good about yourself. So just be happy because you're a Jew. Just be happy because you're a Jew, and this is the happiness of the bracha that we make in the morning. Shalos ani goy. Shalos ani goy. That thank you Hashem for making me a Jew. So, it says, somebody once asked Rav Shach that why do we make a bracha? Thank you Hashem for not making me a guy. You should say thank you Hashem for making me a Jew. So Rav Shach said, I know this because my friend Aaron Rizal made a song about this. So Rav Shach said that Hashem makes that you're not a guy, but you have to make yourself into a Jew. Right? So
What a Jew's a Jew.
you have to make yourself even more Jewish. You have to, like Hashem makes it that you're not a guy, but Hashem makes it that you have the ability to make yourself into a Jew, but you got to do it. So in the same vein, so I say, why do we thank Hashem for Shalom Asani Isha? Why don't we say thank you Hashem for making me a guy? So Hashem makes it that you're not a girl, but you have to make it that you're a guy. So this is an amazing revolution in how to look at happiness. What should make me happy, because so many people are trapped in this like myth that the only reason to be happy is because I accomplished something, because I achieved this, because people finally see good in me. People look up to me, people appreciate me, people validate me, and it's all a myth. It's all a myth that everybody, the entire world, can jump in a lake. I don't need the people look up to me. I don't need the people appreciate me. I don't need the people validate me. It's not about what I did to find favor in anybody's eyes. It's just about who I am. Okay? That just who I am. That's a reason to be happy, to appreciate myself because of who I am, not because of what I did, not because of what I have accomplished, not how good my grades are, not how good my talents are, not my decisions. Even like I don't need to only be happy when I had a good day. I don't need to only be happy because I succeeded. That I can just be happy because of who I am. And this is a eye-opening thing. This is a game changer. And when he says when he says that the happiness of a Jew is because he's a Jew, so this is with the understanding that a Jew has something very special, that they have a divine soul. And they have a divine soul. And this is something that the Tanya writes is the greatest difference between a Jew and a non-Jew, that they have this, what the Kuzari calls this godliness. That I I remember once that a convert of mine, a student of mine, that converted. So he told me that he was like, after he converted, so he celebrated, like they celebrated they finished conversion, and so of course like they make a party when they finish, and the highlight of the party is that they pour wine for everybody, because when they were not Jewish they couldn't pour wine, and so but he tells me, but Rabbi, like that I want to tell you that it was the most amazing day after the party. So I went to daven. I went to daven mincha, and I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It was like, how they say that like there's tones, there's frequencies that dogs can hear that humans can't hear. So I said, yeah. So he said, well, I felt like that. I felt like I was like suddenly hearing this frequency that I could never hear before. So I said, welcome to the club. And like there's something godly about a Jewish neshama, that they have this ability to connect, and that's enough of a reason to be jumping for joy. The fact that you have a soul, that you have this ability to connect with God, that you're just. I was speaking to this. I was speaking to a student in MRC just a couple of weeks ago. That like she was telling me that like she was like she had this like spiritual awakening just like very recently. She was walking with her non-Jewish boyfriend, with eating pork, and she just like and she was wearing a Jewish star, and like suddenly she felt like, no, this is like, she felt her soul screaming that this is like, I'm better than this. This is not for me. And the mere fact that we have this soul, this divine soul, that it's still on cold, right? I think it's no. I think it's still on cold.
No, it's
Right?
not.
Okay. So the mere fact that we have a divine soul, which gives us the ability to connect with God, that itself is enough of a reason to be jumping for joy. Okay. Rav Kook writes an amazing thing. He writes that 95% of the holiness of a Jew is inborn. Inborn is innate. 5% of the holiness of a Jew is earned. Okay, meaning that the difference between the holiest person in the world and the unholiest person in the world, Jew, is 5%.
But can someone ever be 100% holy?
I mean, like, nobody's perfect. I mean, Moshe Rabbeinu was pretty up there, but like, whatever, the best that they can be. The difference between the best that they can be and the worst that they can be is 5%. Yeah.
This may be a big question, but how do you explain other religions that also feel close connection with Islam, Christianity, Buddhism? Like, I have friends who are Christian, and they really feel a connection with their God.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a person can feel close. It's obviously not real. It's obviously not real, and that's why we can't really trust our emotions. And that's why the reason to be a religious Jew shouldn't just be because it feels right. Because what if Christianity feels right one day? Like the reason needs to have some rational backing, because people can feel things based on their belief system, and if they believe that Jesus is their God, so then they can feel closeness to Jesus, and like they'll feel that it's real. They'll feel this fuzzy feeling when they're connecting with Jesus, and I don't deny that they're feeling something, but it's not real. There's nothing. They're just faking.
Then how can you say a feeling you have similarly as a Jew is real?
Because it's based on facts. Because it's based on rational thought. Right? Like if a person, like, it's possible to fake yourself. Like it's possible that I'll actually pretend that
They're just faking it till they make it.
that you won the lottery. I'll pretend that you won the lottery, and I'll really convince you, and I'll make the whole a ceremony, and I'll give you a big check, and everybody will be in on it, and you'll be in the clouds. You'll actually be very, very happy, right? And it's all fake.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff they do is with like charity and stuff like that. Like it helps them feel some sort of way about it.
Hey, whatever.
Doing good deeds,
whatever, doing good deeds is certainly going to make them feel good. I'm not denying that they shouldn't feel good when they do good deeds. I'm saying that they shouldn't feel close to God when their God is Jesus, because Jesus is not God, right?
So usually for those churches, that's what they do. They're doing good deeds and service and stuff like that. So that's what they're.
I don't think that's what. I don't think that. I think there's more to it than that. I think that they can also feel a religious closeness of something which is completely fake.
So that's what you think that's with any religion that's not Judaism.
Yeah. I think that
Like hallucination, like
I would call it hallucination. I would call it that a person can experience things based on their belief system. Okay, and when I'm saying to be happy because we have a divine soul, I don't mean to be happy because we can feel that fuzzy feeling of being close to God, because other people can also feel that fuzzy feeling. We should be overjoyed because we are actually close to God, not because we can feel the fuzzy feeling.
How can we actually know that? Versus like just believing this set of facts that you believe are facts.
Okay, so for that we need to have many more discussions. But that's a great question. That what is the rational backing? What is the rational backing of Judaism? But that being said, after all those hours of clarifying that there is a rational reason to believe that Judaism is real, and therefore therefore we actually do have a divine soul, and actually we are a special nation, and actually we do have a special mission in life, and we do have the special ability to connect to the world of spirituality, then we should actually be happy. All right, l'chaim.